I'm going to be honest, there's not going to be a lot of editing in this video because this is a very tragic story of how a massive club in French football is just gone. 104 years of history wiped out like this. Like it's the Spanish plague. Bordeaux FC are not a professional club anymore. And it's tragic how a historic team with 6 Ligue 1 titles, 4 Coupe de France, we've seen Chouameni, Jules Koundé, Zidane, Chamac, all of these wonderful players play at this club. And now all of that is wiped away by just stupidity in a way. I'm going to try and break it down here. We're going to go through sort of chronological order of how Bordeaux got into this mess and how today with the news that they have no players anymore, no history anymore. They have the history, but it's now just going to be for another club. And it's very sad to see because one thing I always try and prioritize with football is I love the beautiful game. I love covering all sorts of football. That's why I'm not a Prem channel. I'm not a Serie A channel. I'm not an international football channel, club football channel. I like seeing stories around the world. But these are the sad stories where a historic team is just run to absolute dust. Like there's nothing left there. Like an atomic bomb just hit Bordeaux. And that's what it probably feels like for all of the fans and all of the people. And now we've gone to this situation. So let's talk about it, people. Recent history is stagnation and terrible mismanagement, which is now likely to banish one of the most historic names in the French game. They won the Coupe de France in 2014. You know what they did in 2010? You know what Bordeaux did in 2010, people? They topped the Champions League group with Juventus and Bayern Munich. And 14 years later, they're gone. Their new stadium opened in 2015 ahead of the UEFA Euro 2016, in France. And that expensive, oversized, and awkwardly placed stadium has been a thorn in the club's side ever since. Firstly, for the players, playing in front of around 20,000 fans and a 42,000-seater venue is unpleasant, the Bordeaux mayor said. It is something which is oversized and expensive, especially for the club with such high rent. Clearly, it has been a very bad deal for all involved. Taxpayers are saddled with it for 30 years. I truly regret it, and I recognize that we must try to sell it. There's no reason to retain the ownership. This is just craziness. A significant part of Bordeaux' sad plight involves their chaotic ownership status since the M6 group left. After nearly 2 decades of ownership when they sold it to Joseph Da Grosso Jr. General American Capital Partners back in 2018. It perhaps was indicative of things to come that Da Grosso's first tweet, since deleted about Bordeaux, was about the consensus saying, to the fans of Bordeaux, we're going to improve the food and beverage immediately. Long lines are not acceptable to our fans. Please, Americans, please. I'm half American. Just zip it. Just zip it. Zip it. Zip it. Ay, no puede ser. GACP's time with the club was relatively short-lived as it turned out that fellow backers King Street held the cards and pushed out their compatriots in late 2019 before overseeing the lead into the ruinous COVID-19 period which ravaged French soccer, French football, why did I say the S word, financially as a whole as the lucrative Media Pro TV deal collapsed. And this was a big thing. And I think a lot of French clubs are feeling it. Once Media Pro, the whole TV deal collapsed, a lot of clubs have financially just been in ruins. And it's affected a lot of Ligue 1 clubs. I think we were all surprised when discussing his capital venture last year. First, I still love the club, Bordeaux. I mean, I don't think you love the club. I just think you love making money. And clearly, you didn't make the money. Now you don't love the club. I remain a fan. BS. The last thing I want is no success. I want Ligue 1 to succeed too. It is very distressing, and I think everyone was caught by surprise. Media Pro was the nail in the coffin. It is a very tough situation. Look at this, people. Look at it. 10 years ago, Bordeaux were clear at the top of Ligue 1, heading for their second straight title and getting ready to play the Champions League knockouts, having topped the group with Bayern and Juve. How? How? In 14 years, you're beating Juventus, beating Bayern Munich, and now you're not a football club anymore? KS declared towards the end of 2021 season that they would cease funding. Bordeaux would push the club close to administration and even provisional relegation before Financier Fortress seized financial control and dubious entrust former Leo president Gerard Lopez with the club. Now let me tell you about Lopez, right? Let me tell you about Lopez. He owns one of the largest car collections in the world. You can just check it online. But the dude ruined Leo. He ruined Lotus F1 team in F1. So this guy, yeah, he might have the money, but he don't care. He doesn't care. And this is going to be a big issue you see coming up when we keep reading this article. The Luxembourg time in charge has been a mitigated disaster, with financial woes out of control, unacceptable performances, player and fan unrest, and questionable decisions such as Vladimir Petkovic's stint in charge threatening to cost Bordeaux even more money. Yaroslav Plaso, who joined just after 2009 Ligue 1 success, is now assistant after 10 years. Left Bordeaux on the brink of overdue relegation. Okay, and however gotcha. One, it's been just horrible finances. The stadium has been a huge travesty to not only just the club, but the city, that they can't pay it off. The rent is too high. And then just financially, they just keep getting worse and worse. And you thought, okay, we got Gerard Lopez. He's going to save the day. He's going to be the savior. You know what Gerard Lopez said in an interview? Gerard Lopez is Bordeaux owner on taking risks. Some people are too afraid to take risks. I'm afraid of not taking them. This guy is a clown. Let's get this straight. Any club, French football, should ban this guy forever. Not even get a meter within a training facility, a footballing stadium in France. Send him back to Luxembourg, because clearly this guy just doesn't care about any football club. Whether it's Lille, he owns a team in Belgium. I can't remember the team's name. Then Bordeaux. So Gerard Lopez promised to save the club, and he did nothing about it. Absolutely nothing. I mean, this is just sad, people. Look at some of the names that have come through the Bordeaux Academy. Look at these names, people. Chouameni, Jules Koundé, Pierre Lemelou. I remember him from FIFA. Krkowiak, Emiliano Sala. Rest in peace, Emiliano Sala. Chamak, one of my favorite players, man. I love Chamak when he was at Bordeaux. Mathieu Van Buena. I mean, we are talking about some ballers here, people. Ballers. Bordeaux has still produced some ballers. And it's so sad how they really didn't get a lot of financial capital from the Chouameni sale. But now the news today, people. Look at the news today. This is just, I mean, how can this be like? How can we get to this situation? Bordeaux have folded. The club informed the FFF that it was renouncing its professional status, obtained in 1937. Players' contracts will be terminated, and the training ground is closed in order to reduce financing needs. It's over. Can you imagine that? You're a Bordeaux fan. And if there's any Bordeaux fans, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If there's any way we can help you, please just let me know. I mean, to get this sort of news and to understand that your favorite club, imagine, like, I have so many kids here, people, so many kids. You know what's even more crazy? You know who signed this ball? Zizou. You know where Zizou played? Bordeaux. Gerard Lopez might buy this for $1 million, and I'll give it straight to Bordeaux. I'm looking at Ajax kits. I'm looking at Boca. I'm looking at Olympiacos. I'm looking at so many different kits. Imagine if your favorite football club, and my favorite football clubs are Liverpool and Hoikko here in Finland. If I ever got the news that my club is just gone like that, I'd be devastated. I just don't think I could follow the sport anymore, because if you're a super fan, right? Not an ultra, because ultras, sometimes they don't provide the greatest image of a football club. But if you're a hardcore fan and you go home and away, maybe only home, your whole week is just about, oh, I cannot wait for Saturday. I can't wait for Sunday when we're going to go see our team play. If we win, if we lose, hopefully we win, we're going to be there to support them. This is our life. We evolve our life around it. And ain't nobody going to tell me about some date. Maybe if it's a wedding, that's it. Or if you're proposing, that's about it. 6 p.m. Saturday, Bordeaux against, I don't know, Le Havre or somebody like that. We will be there. Now your whole week and your anticipation for the game is gone. I cannot even imagine that feeling. And it must be just so gut-wrenching to the fans, the players, and the city. Now they're going to have a 42,000-seater stadium for nada. Nada. And it's cruel. Obviously, they had to do this because there's just no way they could survive it. And they tried to get FSG to buy the club to help them survive. But FSG clearly saw the financial risks and said, we're not going to do it. We're just simply not going to do it. It's too much of a gamble on our part. And I can respect that about FSG. But Gerard Lopez, this guy might need to go to jail. I mean, send his ass straight to The Hague. No, we're not going to be nice here. Jenna Lopez has destroyed and eliminated a club fully. Send his ass to The Hague immediately. Bordeaux were founded in 1920, and now Bordeaux are dead in 2024. Those are words you never want to hear as a football fan. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, people. Just sad. It's sad. It's sad.